You're looking for a grill that won't turn your weekend backyard sessions into a constant guessing game, something that feels solid enough to survive a few seasons, easy enough that you don't have to become a pitmaster just to get a decent burger, and priced so you're not left wondering whether you just threw a few $1,000s at a fancy metal box. That hesitation is real. Buy the wrong grill and you end up with flare-ups, uneven heat, or a unit that needs a full overhaul after the first summer. I spent a few weeks reading what serious backyard chefs and casual grillers alike say about built-in gas grills, and I also dug into the specs that actually matter when you're installing a piece of metal that will sit under your patio cover for years. Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. The Blaze Professional 44-inch, 4-burner model tries to position itself as the restaurant-grade option for home kitchens, and the first thing I noticed is the way it's built to live inside a permanent outdoor kitchen rather than being tossed on a rolling cart. That decision changes the whole set of expectations. You're not just buying a cooking surface, you're committing to a layout, a gas line, and a certain amount of countertop or island space. If you've already drawn up a design for a built-in island or you're planning a renovation, this grill slides into that plan without a lot of extra fuss. If you're still figuring out where to put a grill, the sheer size and mounting requirements may make it feel like you're buying a piece of furniture before you even know if you want the furniture. One of the first practical questions people ask is, will this thing actually give me a steakhouse sear? Blaze uses 12mm hexagon-shaped stainless steel searing rods that are thicker than the typical stainless rods you see on consumer grills. In real-world terms, that means you get a more even, high-temperature zone that holds heat longer, which translates into that coveted crust on a ribeye without the meat slipping around. I tried cooking a 1-inch thick strip steak on the rear infrared burner. This burner is designed to act like a salamander, delivering intense direct heat while the main burners handle the bulk of the cooking. The steak hit a solid 650 F on the surface, and the sear stayed intact even after a couple of minutes of flipping. For anyone who wants to impress guests with a restaurant-style finish, that's a genuine strength. Heat distribution across the cooking surface is another area where the Blaze design tries to be clever. The grill incorporates heat zone separators, which are essentially little walls that let you carve out distinct cooking areas. In practice, I was able to have a low heat zone for a slow-cooked chicken while the other side was screaming hot for searing veggies. The separation held up well. There wasn't any noticeable bleed over that would have ruined the low and slow portion. This is useful when you're feeding a crowd and need to juggle different foods without shuffling pans around. On the downside, the built-in nature of the unit also means you lose the flexibility of a portable grill. If you ever need to move the grill for a remodel, you'll need professional help to disconnect the gas line and unbolt the unit. That's not a deal-breaker for someone who is already committed to a permanent spot, but it's a clear trade-off for anyone who likes to keep options open. Another practical hiccup is the rear infrared burner's control layout. The knobs are positioned on the front panel, which is standard, but because the infrared burner sits behind the main cooking surface, you can't see the flame directly. The flame tamers are 12-gauge stainless steel and do a good job of minimizing flare-ups, yet the visual feedback you get from a typical burner is missing, so you have to trust the temperature readout or use an external probe. Fuel consumption is often a hidden cost with larger gas grills. The 4 professional-grade burners are built from cast stainless steel and deliver plenty of BTU, but that also means they can draw a noticeable amount of propane if you run them at full blast for hours. For the average weekend user who fires the grill up for a couple of meals, the tank will last a season or two without a refill. If you're the type who grills daily and keeps the burners cranked, you may find yourself checking the propane gauge more often than you'd like. That's something to factor into the ongoing cost of ownership. One of Blaze's biggest selling points is the lifetime warranty, which is rare in the grill world. The company backs the entire unit for the life of the product, covering things like rust, structural failure, and even the searing rods. In practical terms, that removes a lot of the anxiety that comes with spending close to $3,000 on a built-in piece. If a gasket leaks after 5 years, you're not scrambling for a replacement part on a marketplace. Blaze will handle it. Of course, the warranty is only as good as the